overwhelming majority, maybe even 85% or more, lives in rural Ethiopia. So they are small farm holders. They can save time, to do this. Even modern cities like Addis Ababa, families will find a time in the morning to sit together. It might not be big, but just for the family. The average number can vary, how many guests you will have, how many neighbors you will invite. But there is no set number of people that's going to be invited. These days, in large hotels, including Sheraton or Radisson, Hilton, you will find a young lady seated in front of the entrance, performing. It becomes so popular. Actually, people like the traditional ceremony over the cafes that we have in, you can pull a shot. Because you don't get good coffee in those coffee shops. As I said, most of the good coffee is exported. So very little left in the country, just cannot go around. But the traditional coffee offers really a great sense of, coffee present. So there is no limit to the numbers, the amount of people can participate. And finding the time is, as I said, 85% of the population lives in rural Ethiopia. They set, their own schedule. They will find the time to sit around and, enjoy a cup of coffee. And I tell you what, starting, your morning, your day with a good cup of coffee is a great way to start. And the blessing, there is positive energy around the coffee. The person who's seated will get blessed, the person who's, passing the bread, Also, it is just even the meanest, oldest person will behave very well around the coffee. So, yeah, to start the day with that positive energy is good.
How is that kind of, I'm actually curious how you guys got to Kansas City, but also taking that attitude and then the reality of living here in Kansas City in the United States, how is that conflicted and meshed into being able to sustain and continue with the way you would like to go about having coffee and just daily routines, I guess? Has there been much compromise, or is it pretty much?
I came here in late 1986, 87, and I was looking for a coffee and I just could not find it. Actually, I was in San Francisco, and Cafe Trusty and big names were there, but still, coffee wasn't too big then. So I called my mom and told her, there is no coffee in America. Yeah, and she started sending me green coffee, and I will roast it, the way you guys saw it, and enjoy a good cup of coffee. PG joined me in 1988, and we have been doing it, for our home consumption, and later on for friends. And we find out people are really fascinating on the process and the ritual. Our coffee need is not really, we can satisfy our coffee need. However, finding a time in the West, in this lifestyle, is really difficult to sit down. So we do it like once in a weekend, Saturday or Sunday, or when we have guests.
Holidays.
Holidays, yes. Now, I came as a refugee to attend the school as well. Really, America is a great country. I find it amazing, actually. The people who never meet me, who don't know me, they said, we will sponsor you. Actually, I was explaining this to earlier for her. my first stop was to go to Chicago while I was in Sudan. They told me, you're going to Chicago. I did not ask who was in Chicago. I said, I'll go to Chicago. And while I was on a plane, I met a man, and he said, I think the best place for you to go is San Francisco because it has eucalyptus tree around, mild weather, you know, all that. I said, yeah, how do I go to San Francisco? And somehow he managed in the airport, you know, to find a way for me to go to Chicago, to San Francisco, and I went to San Francisco. I am a recipient of really the graciousness of American culture, American people. Even after me, people from South Sudan, people even some from Somalia, people from a troubled region, war-torn countries, somehow they will find a way to get here. This is a host country for many, many people around the world. And we are really grateful for that. But also, you know, it gives you an opportunity, you know, to help yourself. And I am still, you know, convinced that even if there is some things out there, with all wrong things that we have, this is the best place in the best country to live. No question about it. So I'm happy with the lifestyle. I moved to Kansas because I have sisters. And I always believe, you know, you will get friends and associates, you know, based on your own character, your own, you know, people are a reflection of, you know, your own personality. So if you are good, you know, you'll run into good people. I hope I addressed your question.
Yeah, now I'm worried because I have a lot of troublemaker friends.
Once you lose a species, the chance of recovering it or, you know, bring it back is unthinkable. And if we change the way of life, the way of their practice of farming the coffee farms, in near future, in 15 years' time, they can be wiped out. And Ethiopians paid immense sacrifice to protect and preserve the world coffee. So unless we intervene right now and find a way to sustain their life, this can be in danger. So we all need to do, you know, our own share. I think the community here or there will be strong if we do our shares. Some of them will believe one thing, but, you know, we don't even practice, or we give away for, you know, some reason. If we believe in justice, if we don't allow, you know, as a fellow human grossly, you know, suffer, we need to do our share, our part, and, you know, the world will be a better place.